Lesson 6. So looking at the videos I've placed on the shared swap, as well as the same videos on my YouTube channel, BRTF 1265, which is of course your course code. Find the lesson 6 folders on the shared swap, which is today's lesson. And again, just want to make sure everybody understands the workflow. These folders, assets, end project, finished project, sample movie, these are basic workflow folders. Now they're already created for us in these lessons today, but when you do your own projects for me, you should be using the same workflow, which means you'll create a brand new master folder, you'll label it properly, and then you'll populate that folder with these folders. Assets. Assets, again, any media files you're planning on using should go in here first before you import them into After Effects. Remember, there's a link that is created, a file path, and if you import your files from your desktop or somewhere else, the file path will be directed towards where you imported them from. And if you move them, which some of you will inadvertently do by putting them in a folder, then those links file paths aren't valid anymore, which means media is offline. So it's so important to make sure you're putting everything in these folders first before you start your project. End project file, these are your AEP files. And again, you're going to generate multiples. Now you're going to see in this particular lesson, there's actually an end project movie file in there, which generally is not something that you would normally do. In this project, at the end, there is a little lesson that shows you how to basically make stuff freeze in time and reverse. I'm really not going to spend a lot of time on that because it's something you can play around with and discover on your own. So that's kind of an exception. Normally there wouldn't be a movie file in there. There would just be a bunch of AEP files, and they should be various versions of your AEP files that you've saved. Your finished project folder currently has nothing in it because, well, we don't have a finished project. In this folder, there will be but one AEP file, and it will be the absolute final version, which should be labeled as such. And that's the one I'm going to open when I'm marking your projects. And if it's not the right AEP file, then I'm going to mark whatever's there, which, again, could be detrimental because it's not going to be the finished project. Sample movies, whenever you render something, that's where they go. And they're literally sample movies created from your AEP file. So again, that is the workflow, and please, I urge you to follow that workflow because I'm going to take marks off if you're not following the workflow. And simply, you're going to lose marks because the project's going to be offline when you hand it in to me, which, of course, I can't mark something that's offline. So follow the workflow, please.